Been a minute since I've been back, and yes, I know I still owe you guys a video on this book right here, which I will be doing. Moria Through the Doors of Dorne. Let me tell you something. For a supplement, this book is just about as big as the core book. It's pretty damn big. And I'm not going to do anything here except tell you, yeah, it's Moria. And everything that entails. So, if you feel like you want to run a fantasy role-playing game, One Ring or otherwise, and you feel like you want to send characters into Moria or just copy it, because the book is full of just great information that could be used as inspiration to make your own super dungeons or whatever. It's worthwhile, I think. I think so. So, you, Leth. How you doing, Leth? Let me see something here. Letholdus. Definitely a stalwart. Yeah, Leth. I noticed the Commonwealth got called like first or second during the election, huh? Wasn't even messing around with it. It was like the election started, and 10 minutes later, they're like, Commonwealth of Kentucky is done for president.
Well, it is kind of obvious.
They're like, well, okay. All right. Well, it's good to know that our state knows how to actually run a functioning election.
I don't know about that, though.
Unlike, let's say...
again, if that was true, how did we get Bashir?
I can tell you how we got Bashir. Louisville.
Yeah.
Bashir offered them more gimmies, and the problem with letting people on social welfare and shit like that vote is they will always vote for more gimmies, and they don't give a shit how it affects the actual country, because they just want their gimmies,
Again, how does every Republican win? But then whenever it comes to our governor, then it's the Democrat.
Yeah, it's if you look at the state of Florida, the only blue part of Florida was Orlando and Miami. Even Tampa, St. Pete, and Jacksonville went red. So, but I'm going to tell you something, my friend. I have no sympathy for the Dems because they brought it on themselves.
Yeah. But hey, bright side, look at all the good that's already happening, and Trump's not even president yet.
Right. They're blaming Trump for shit that he hasn't even done. I'm talking about their run was just like the stupidest run up ever. It was like, okay, here's the deal. We're the incumbents, but let's act like we're not.
Yeah.
Every time they got up there and started talking about hope and change, I was like, you're the incumbents.
And the bad part is, even if they were running on change, they couldn't even tell you what the change is.
Yeah, she had no idea. And I'm pretty sure old Joe was like stabbing
okay,
her the whole time.
You're for change. What would you do differently than your boss?
Oh, nothing comes to mind.
Nothing.
And it's like they literally threw you the softest of softballs. What would you do different than your boss? That is like the softest of softballs ever. Hey, what's up, Daniel Barry? I hope today finds you well. And if not, don't worry. It'll be over in a couple years, and then we can do this shit all over again. Which, as a monarchist, I'm opposed to. But hey, nothing's perfect. But yeah, you cannot run on change if you're the incumbent. And you can't even blame it on poor old Joe, because most of the bills that actually effed shit up the worst came down to a tie. And guess who votes on ties?
Kamala.
the vice president. So I mean, there was no way she could run away from the record, and the record was bad.
Yep.
And it's like, damn, what happened to my Democrat Party back when I was a Democrat? It's like something has happened. Then people just went nuts. And then, of course,
Democrat, but again, maybe it's because I was in the 90s. I saw what a Democrat was and just like, no.
Yeah, throughout like the 80s, I was pretty much a hardcore Democrat, except I think Reagan. But I wasn't old enough to vote for Reagan, but we had like an election in school. Like teachers did this like little fake election, and Reagan killed it, at our school. So, but then again, Reagan carried every state except for like Vermont.
Yeah, the only state he lost in, I think, his election was literally the opponent's home
state.
So
but and of course, what's his name was never going to be able to do anything because he was caught, saying negative things about Israel.
Yeah.
What's his name? Carter. Yeah,
Really,
they caught him talking bad about Israel, so his political career was done.
The Democrats could not win that debate at all anyway because their group was already completely split down on both sides on that. So if they went pro-Hamas or pro-Palestinian,
well, that was their new problem. Their new problem was trying to get leftists to vote for them when half of the left is vehement anti-Semitic pro-Hamas guys, and the other half of the left are Jewish. And it's like, and also they were bragging about white women are going to save us this election. No. They broke for the guy that's not going to send their son to school or try to convince their son or daughter that they are in the wrong body. And I told my wife and I was talking about that, and I told everybody before the election, I'm pretty sure, I was like, housewives don't give a shit about your single woman, whatever. They got bigger fish to fry, you know what I mean? And it was like, it was so easy. But see, the thing is, the Democrats are screwed anyway because they screwed the economy up, and the economy was the number one issue. So it was like, how are you going to run on fixing the economy when you're the one that effed it up? Right?
Yeah.
This was just a stupid. And then the fact that people had hope, till the very end, Kamala could pull it off. It's like, this is a freaking landslide. This is crazy. I went to bed because I was like, yeah, I don't need to.
Yeah, I went to bed pretty early on that one too.
Yeah, I was like, I already know what's going down.
Yeah, they can't cheat this time. I think we win this one.
Yeah, it's too big to rig. Even though you've got all these people on Twitter, because I love Twitter, Democrat voters, and they're all like, how did we lose 15 million Democrat votes since Biden ran?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe there was
like,
a massive amount of cheating.
Explain that to you, right?
It's like she got about the same amount as every other Democrat beforehand. There's just this one spike up where Biden was. I wonder what happened.
Yeah, I wonder what happened. Just at 3 a.m. out of the blue, Biden got 15 million votes.
This is going to be one where 30 years from now, they're going to look at it and be like, how did that was obviously rigged.
Yeah. In the future, they're going to look back and be like, we should put an asterisk next to this guy's name like they do in baseball.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it's pretty obvious. Fulton County didn't have to worry about any burst pipes or any of that nonsense.
Isn't Fulton County still counting, though?
Well, they're going to count every vote, but it doesn't matter. Like if every single vote from here on out came in pro-Biden, it still wouldn't matter.
It's like somehow they win the popular vote just by Fulton County. Oh, we just found like 13 billion votes there somehow.
They would have to find 5 million votes to win the popular.
I know. I'm making a joke.
Again, that's a skunking. That is just. That's like.
And that's how they were like, oh, see, it's the evil electoral college. She should have won.
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell. We should get rid of the electoral college.
No, I was talking about now. They win the popular vote by Fulton County somehow having like over 5 million votes somehow.
No, Rosie was on her freaking account talking about how we should get rid of the
electoral college.
Yeah, and it's like, does this crazy bitch not know he won the
popular vote?
Popular vote? I mean, is she that far up her ass? He won the popular vote, bitch. If you got rid of the electoral college, it would change nothing.
Not in this election.
Nope. He still would be the winner of the popular vote.
That just makes cheating easier in the future.
Well, I mean, you never want direct democracy, no matter what anyone says.
I know.
Even the Greek philosophers warned about it. You know what I mean?
Greek philosophers, our own founders, and everybody
else. Yeah. Everybody warned about that shit. They're like, you don't want it because, literally 51% of the country can F over 49% of the country.
It doesn't even have to be 50 because of how democracies work.
Right. And then that leads to despotism or civil war, whichever one you like the best. And I'm old, so I'd rather avoid both. Even though I did find a really good deal on some 280 grain, I think, 300 blackout.
Oh, nice.
Brother, how you doing, Hungar? Why you just jump in and not even say hi and get in chat or nothing? Just fucking up in Kentucky, living the dream. Lisa asked if I wanted to go to Kentucky this weekend, but I can't. I think she wants somebody to drive because she likes to drive straight through. And I was like, first off, I don't own a car. And secondly, I'm I don't drive. I can't drive. I was like, so I mean, if you're looking for somebody to, I know you're hanging out with with El Madre and El Padre, but they would 100% understand you jumping on.
If it's Madre, it'd be La Madre.
La. So I have a feeling they'd understand if you wanted to jump on real quick and say hey and hang out for a little bit with Leth and I. Then it would be the 3 Kentuckian streams. Well, we'll include you in as Kentuckian because you're actually in Kentucky. So you get the
best state in the Commonwealth.
Yeah,
I mean not
in the Union. The best Commonwealth in the Union.
Yep.
And also kind of the weirdest.
Yeah, that is true.
But that doesn't make it not the best. Sometimes weird is good.
Sometimes.
Chicken, curry, udon. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that. Get in chat and talk to me.
I had baked spaghetti.
I used to make Mark and Mom vindaloo all the time. So there you go. Because my parents are the cool parents. They're willing to try all kinds of stuff. There he is. Look at this guy. Outside.
You know what's funny to me is you always diss me for not being from Kentucky, but out of the two of us, I've spent more time in Kentucky.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Come on, Cassie. Get your fuzzy butt here.
You're always going to be a Florida man, bro. You were born in Orlando.
There's nothing wrong with being a Florida man. I'm who they release.
Yeah. You know what's hilarious too?
What's your buddy?
Florida And Texas went more red this election than at any other time.
You know who went all red though?
Yeah.
Everybody's like, man, there's a lot of states going red, but none of them's going full red. Oklahoma's like, hold my beer.
Oh, yeah, Oklahoma. Every county in Oklahoma. My favorite thing Tracy showed me was when Jake Tapper was talking to that guy, and the guy's like, let's see on the map where Kamala Harris is outperforming Joe Biden. And dude hit the map, and it was just nothing. Yeah. And the guy's like, are you serious? She's not outperforming him anywhere? And the guy's like, not anywhere. He's like,
Tim Walz lost his hometown.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what? I think the Dems might have come closer to winning, if not winning, if they just stuck with Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have.
Crazy
That's sad.
that bastard is. A lot of people would have voted for Joe. You know what I mean?
Well,
Lot
I'm
more than
sure that Joe voted for Trump after what they did to him.
I
He had
don't
to
know,
get a hat.
but I'll bet you Jill did.
Biden, I'm surprised Biden hasn't worn his MAGA hat yet.
Check out how smart I am. I packed up everything for my computer, my mouse, my external hard drive, everything except for the power cord.
I know it. I knew it as soon as you said.
Well, James is both talking politics and painting minis.
Yeah, I can do two things. I can actually do like 5 things at the same time. Yeah, I'm commenting on politics and painting Pechenegs, which were a steppe tribe that lived in what is currently called Ukraine and used to war with the Kievan Rus all the time.
It's chilly up here tonight, bro.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's a
but
bit
what you
chilly,
at?
yes.
Huh?
What temperature are you at?
We in the 50s.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're like 4,000 feet above sea level. Yeah, Alto. This channel is not a political channel, even though I will argue and talk a little bit about politics occasionally. This channel is more of a gaming channel. So if you actually were to go to my YouTube channel and look at the videos I've posted, you would see most of them are either gaming channels about One Ring or Vampire the Masquerade, or music reviews about music that makes people uncomfortable.
Oh, 40, he's a 40K guy. I play Eldar, but if I was choosing a Space Marine chapter, it'd be the Dark Angels because they're the best.
Unlike traders.
Unlike those pansy ass Blood Angels.
Yeah, you like traders. I mean, just come out and say you're chaos without admitting you're chaos.
I used to play Chaos Nurgle all the way, baby. You know that, brother.
I know it. Yeah, if you want to talk some 40K
Black Templars for the win.
You have found your way to the right channel because
my Eldar Knight will just run up to his heavy tank and cut it in half.
You never let me live that down. We played a game and his Eldar Knight ran up to my Baneblade because even though I'm a Blood Angels player a lot of the time, most of the time I'm Imperial Guard. And that Eldar Knight just ran up and like one shot my Baneblade.
You threw that Baneblade out. Is like, what you think about the Baneblade? I was like, I think about this. Thwack.
Well, I didn't know that the Elder Titan was as fast as it is too.
It's Eldar. Of course it's fast.
I mean, it was fast. Astra Militarum. Yeah, I refuse to call it Astra Militarum. They're Imperial Guard. I started playing 40K back in like 96.
When they were the Eldar before the Eldar.
Space Orcs. The dwarves were called Squats. And then you had the Imperial Guard, which all looked identical.
The Space Marines.
And Tyranid and Gene Stillers were not the same army back then.
And Tau were not even invented.
Yeah, Tau were not even in existence. Like, it was like no one had even heard of them guys. Now, if they made the Tao to sell more miniatures in Japan, then okay, I get it.
Yeah.
And my nephew plays Tao, so okay, that's fine.
Shut up.
Women and men's health.
Still a rookie when it comes to painting. You know what? Me too. And I've been painting for like 30 years.
Missouri, North Carolina, Kansas.
There's my beautiful mother and my
All this stuff
handsome
comes to
papa.
men's health. No one's seen this stuff that they talk about.
Yeah, I found a really good deal on 280 grain, 300 blackout ammo.
Yep.
They feel like they can just say these
Hey,
things
boy.
to y'all, and because y'all got
They
so much
pop.
for this woman, y'all look to her. She's like,
And I'm looking at getting it's kind of a generic
I'm telling y'all this.
ACOG.
Right.
To a hospital, go to a clinic, and let them doctors tell you that no, you don't have access to
It's
this.
kind of a generic ACOG because the
Again, because it's very, very.
You're-
name brand ACOGs are like $1,700.
Yeah.
Hey, Liz.
And it's like you can get one just as good, but not a Trixon or whatever. And that thing costs like 200 or 300. So I put that on the Christmas list. We'll see what wifey does. Oh, by the way, who sent me 4 Magpul magazines specifically for 300 blackout?
Mm.
Did you hear me, Hungar?
I don't think he did. He's no way.
Yeah, I think he fell down, and I don't know. You guys are old school, very old school. We started with Hungar's my brother, and we started with Rogue Trader, but I don't know if we ever played it correctly because that book was weird. Then we went to second edition, which we loved, and then third was okay. Fourth was great. Fifth and sixth were meh. Seventh was great. And then eighth and ninth were very meh. And 10th just sucks balls. So right now, instead of playing 40K, I mean, I've got my Sanguinius up there painted. We actually play 30K. And when I play against my nephew's Tau army with my Death Corps of Krieg army, we use one-page rules. We don't even use Games Workshop rules.
I don't know
Mike, you can ask him your question again.
magazines.
You both were talking at the same time.
Sorry.
I said, I don't know who sent you the 300 blackout mags.
It had my name spelled wrong, and it had 4 magazines in it, and it had no return address.
Who's sending you guns?
No one sent me guns. They're sending
Magazine.
Magpul magazines.
I would not touch it. I would put it in the garbage, and I would even call the cops and hand it over.
Oh no, they're legal.
No, but you don't
They're
know.
legal about it.
It could have a thumbprint on it just waiting for you to get fucking accused of a crime. I would never accept that shit.
Well, it was officially shipped through the freaking whatever, and when I opened it up, they were still in the bags, and it had an invoice and everything. It just didn't say from who, and I suspect it's a family member. But I have 100 family members, so I actually thought it was Hungar, but
Hey, Malachi.
Your name.
I love a great pile of shame that needs to be painted. Man, you would love it hanging out with me in my game room then.
Up for gaming says Fed sent them.
I've got all the gray piles of shame for everything. We got OGG here and Malachi. How you doing, Malachi?
It's Malaki.
I thought it was Malachi, but it's Malachi. And since I'm a huge fan of that movie, that's what I'm going to call him.
I should have flipped that. He thought it was Malachi, but it's Malaki.
See, I like Band of Brothers, and it's Malaki.
But yeah, Children of the Corn is actually one of my favorite movies, and I occasionally watch it
He wants you, Malachi.
just because, you know. The new one I watched, and I was like, meh. But the old one is just the right amount of creepy. Now, I'll tell you what, since I do watch a lot of scary movies, even though I probably shouldn't, Midnight with the Devil was scary as shit.
It was very well done.
Yeah, it like started slow, but then that last 20 minutes was like brain effed.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it. And you know, the main character was the guy that played Coco in Blade Runner 2047.
He was also the guy who played the Joker's assassin in Dark Knight.
Really?
The guy who's dressed as the cop that that goes to try to kill the mayor, and they grab him. That's the same actor.
Yeah, I
The guy
like
shows up in a lot of stuff. He's
looking.
weird looking, but a good actor.
Looking guy, but that makes me like him.
Well, he produced or something. He was involved in the production of Midnight with the Devil. Like it was a real project for him that he wanted to get done. So I really respect that.
Yeah, I saw Bear streaming
Hey, Doc.
Long John Silver's tonight.
Well, we've got Doc. How you doing, Doc?
I'm sorry, what?
I was at Long John Silver's when you started your stream.
Oh, you're at Long John. That's got to be good for your diabetes.
Oh,
Deep fried fish.
Well, the fish is good. It's just the inch
The
thick
batter.
of batter around it. That's probably
The
not
batter
good.
might not be the best. Just
Well,
saying.
my blood pressure dropped down really low today. I ended up in the hospital for a few hours, so I needed something to get my blood pressure up.
Really? You just
Yeah.
talking to your brother doesn't get your blood pressure up?
Now my brother's calming for me.
Oh.
I'm the only one then, or you're the only one, because everyone else. Yeah, I was just sitting here explaining to all of the people who possibly voted Democrat what went wrong, which is don't run as the change candidate when you're the incumbent, because people aren't stupid.
Well, I have something I want to say.
Say
that
it.
I would really hope most Americans could fucking learn this, which is no one is opposed to the idea of a female president. Just stop running these unlikable cunts.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you can ask just about anybody if they would take a Tulsi Gabbard or whatever, and they're like, yeah, whatever.
Now, if Canada can get rid of Trudeau, the world will be in a better place.
Oh, he's going, trust me.
Well, he did. He was classy as soon as it was announced for Trump. He said he looks forward to working side by side with Trump and what great allies we are and all that shit. So,
Well, what do you expect him to say? You're our largest trading partner. We have to be nice,
yeah. Well, it might get better for you guys too, because apparently the guy they put in charge of financial shit that Trump is going to, he wants us to stop trading with people far away and to concentrate on the people we have borders with.
Yeah.
So he's saying north and south borders, so that pretty much the way he's talking is like he wants North America to become its own trade bloc. So
Well, it should
Canada
be.
will be selling whatever they sell. Mexico will be selling whatever they sell. We'll be selling shit.
We only need so much maple syrup.
Mexico is be selling you Chinese cars, but that's beside the point.
Mexico becoming the next China, basically. Hey, the Mexicans might love it. I mean, look at China. They went from like eating freaking wire chestnuts and starving to death to billionaires and shitty real estate deals. I mean, but we made them rich. They might claim to be communists, but those dudes are entrepreneurial, capitalist to the hilt. Elsie's an attractive woman with a streak of gray hair. Yeah, she was a hardcore Democrat. And then during this election, like I think Bear said this, it was like Trump called the Avengers to unite.
Yeah, Trump assembled his Avengers. Yeah, exactly.
And it was like RFK and Tulsi Gabbard. And so you had moderates and Democrats. And
Does that make Elon Musk his Iron Man?
it was like, yep.
Elon Musk, I watched his interview the other day again where he was just telling everybody, he's like, offer me money, offer me power. Fuck you, I don't need it. Go fuck yourself. Yeah.
He was quoting the Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride, exactly.
Well, apparently Elon and Trump both got like some serious anger issues with Disney right now. So
Good. Disney needs a foot up its ass.
Eisner is probably sweating bullets right. Oh, and don't forget my boy Ron Paul.
Yeah, that's right.
Ron Paul volunteered to help Elon go over all of the government spending and shit.
Well, I went up to a bookstore today and I asked them if they had Trump's book on deportation. And they told me to get the hell out and never come back. And I was like, yeah, that's the book. Do you have it?
I saw that on our Twitter or our.
Yeah.
Off-grid's in the lobby.
We got someone else in the lobby. Wow.
Off-grid gaming.
Well, he might have got a new computer. So we'll
Hey.
see. What's up, bro?
Hey, man.
Not just someone else off grid. How's it going?
Did you
Oh,
know
yeah. This ain't crafting. Look at that mug. Jeez, dude.
Hey, dude, I got some thirst for Tulsi. Don't give shit to Malaki on this one. I've got that thirst too, man. First time I saw her do her CrossFit training, I was like, hello. Oh, it's surfing videos, you say? Okay, I'll watch this. Thank you. Badass
she's like that
military
perfect-
woman, you say? Oh, I don't know. Keep talking.
It's like
I'm
that
listening.
perfect blend of Polynesian and whatever European she's got in her.
Indian. She's Polynesian and Indian.
I like that Spanish chick from
Got there. Ice.
Natty.
Oh.
You like that Spanish chick from where?
She was for treasurer in Missouri.
7.1.
Yeah, the Luna or whatever. She's the one everybody flipped out when she posted pictures of herself at the beach.
No.
Oh, that's another one then? Because there's the one from Florida, and I think Luna is her last name, and she's a representative, and she posted pictures of herself at the beach in a bikini, and everybody's like, that's so blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, it's just ugly chicks complaining because she's a smoke show. You know what I mean? She's just freaking hot.
Are you talking about Rosie, whatever the hell her name is, Hungar?
Luna. Oh, no, Hungar.
Rosie Rios? Rosie Rios? Is that who you're talking about? Former
I
U.S.
think Hungar
Treasurer?
died.
Okay, maybe not Hungar. Okay, thanks. Thanks for sharing.
I bet she's asleep.
Yeah, I think he went to sleep.
Can he sleep with his eyes open?
Hungar, are you asleep or are you just having that, well-renowned Eastern Kentucky mountain internet?
Click on the three dots at the upper right-hand corner of his box, and you can put him on screen by himself for everybody to see.
Because, the internet in Eastern Kentucky is known
Freeze
for
up,
being
lock up.
amazing.
There we go. See, ice
Yeah, it
frozen.
froze up.
Yeah, frozen. Yeah.
It's frozen.
Yeah, he froze.
Oh, well.
Well, that's the way it goes. Like
There's
I said,
the thumbs, then the toes.
but
Can you hear me now?
can you hear me
Yep.
now?
So, yeah, no, I
Sorry,
agree.
just
The
joke
Republicans
back
have
and
way
forth.
more attractive women. I was watching a Trump rally, and they were just panning through the crowd, and there was lots of thick, middle-aged whatevers. And then there was just these smoking hot Texan chicks in cowboy hats dancing with flags. And I was like,
The sea of youth is out there for Trump, for sure. Youth was there, big time.
Quick Lee says some serious beards rocking in this channel. Yeah. I shaved mine like a month ago. It's still pretty short. But yeah, we like our beards.
Levin's like, my beard.
We got our ginger beard up there.
I used to be a ginger beard.
Yeah, I used to be a black beard, but then daughters and grandchildren later.
Yeah, there was a girl I used to work with at a call center. First time she saw me, she's like, "Oh, it's the Dread Pirate ginger beard." And I was just like, "This, you're lucky you're cute. Otherwise, I'd tell you to fuck off."
Right.
I had a beard that was down past my hand here,
Oh,
but I got
Jesus.
spray foam insulation
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
in my house, so it had to go. It was rough.
Yeah.
I have a picture to prove it, though. I can share it on Discord.
Yeah. I used to have
You're in
a
spirit.
fierce beard myself. And then every now and then I get in a weird mood and shave my head and shave my beard. And
Same. Yeah.
sometimes my eyebrows, just whatever.
Never the eyebrows. I've always worried about that. I never want to come out like old Pink Floyd there.
Yeah, I did that once in the Army and people were like, "Are you well?" And I'm
You know,
like,
he Lloyd's of
like
London,
about time,
he insured his eyebrows for like $500,000 or something for that movie. Bob
Yeah.
Geldof was terrified his eyebrows weren't going to grow back, so he had insurance done on them just in case.
All right.
Anyway,
So,
I got to run, guys, because I got to head over for Legion of Myth tonight. My
Oh,
mom's-
see ya, Bear.
Good to see
yeah,
you,
but
Bear.
they're not for a while.
He starts in 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Hungar's back.
The
Hungar.
Hungar's back.
Valentina Gomez is her name.
Valentina. All right, I got to see this before I go. Hang on.
She is in Smoke Show.
Gomez. Let's see what kind of smoke show she did. Oh, I do see the New Jersey Monitor says a bigot lost her election. Wow. She's all right.
Justine's got to go up here.
Calling people all
Justine.
kind of crazy names and stuff.
Yeah, she's all right.
So
She's-
we look like a bunch of Vikings. Well,
I am.
speaking for myself, I am
I got a
mostly
touch.
Scandinavian and Germanic with
Yeah, I'm
a
Scandinavian and Celtic.
Oh, I trimmed my beard today. Check it out. It's shorter.
Yeah. So,
All right, I got to go, boys. Peace, love, and geek. See you later.
Later, Bear.
yeah, we'll run until they actually might start, and then I'll probably take off. But, yeah, I'm getting these Pechnigs done. I've got this Slavic Forest Demon. I forget what it's called that I need to get done. I mean, it's a Forest Demon. It will work in any fantasy game, but it's a specific Slavic monster. But I mean, Forest Demon equal Forest Demon.
Well, I'm going to bounce out, bro.
I'll
Yeah,
see
you
ya.
just froze for like
See you
10
later.
minutes anyway. We thought you were asleep.
Get ready to be.
All right. Catch you later.
Love you guys. Peace, love, chicken grease.
All right. Have fun in Kentucky.
Oh, I will. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. My brother up in the home, the hearth, hanging out with the parents. Lucky guy.
Hey, James, look at that. It's like screen
Yeah, it might be a
Stop.
Dracovac.
the same way it was when it was frozen.
Yeah, he didn't go anywhere. He just
Does he have a picture that he puts up that's him like that?
Possibly. I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
well, he's lucky because he's laying down in the bed that's mine. Because last time I visited my mom, I cleaned that bed. And now he's in it. So
Good mattress, comfort rest, or Sealy?
just like the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the only window in the room is like 15 feet up. That makes me feel good. From the
Yeah.
ground, I mean.
Burger's
Because the
got to
house
come
is
with ladders.
built on a slope, so it's like it's one of those where you got to climb the front. You got to climb way up this set of stairs to go in, but in the backyard, it's like one step down. Because it's like.
Mhm, mhm.
But because I own the 30 acres of land the house is built on, and there's like maybe 1 acre out of the 30 that's flat. And the rest of it, you're either walking up or down. And it's heavily forested. But my relatives up there, I let them hunt on it during the hunting season. And they always talk about how great they do. So,
Nice.
yeah, they always pull a look at the reprobates in the chat on Friday. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I should look over there.
Oh, that's right. He took on Ron Paul. He's given him a cabinet position, right? I heard something about that.
Ron Paul has supposedly volunteered to work with Elon Musk.
Excellent. He's awesome. I love Ron Paul.
And
We got to start thinking of what the combos will be after Trump. Like, because Trump's got one more term. He's 2 max. Who's going to run next? Start
don't
building him
know.
up now.
Probably Vance, I would
It
imagine.
could be Vance because Vance is a little bulldog and he's good at talking for sure.
Still young.
And he's also got great all-American story. Born in Eastern Kentucky in an incredibly poor area, and his mom was hooked on pain
So he's
medication.
real. He's real. He's been out there in the trenches.
Yeah, and also he joined the Marine Corps.
He's been carrying crosses and not dropping them on people.
Right. I mean, that guy. Yeah, that guy is a solid guy. But I don't know. Hard to say. You know, you never know with politics. It's stupid.
Yeah. Barron Trump and Elon Musk combo is like a ways out, I'd say.
He's still a bit young.
Well, I think J.D. Vance should be the next president.
If they go by height, though, it's definitely Barron. Because when Trump came out to give his speech, and Barron's standing there, he's like a head and shoulders taller than everyone on the stage.
And Trump's a big dude, too.
Yeah. I'd like to see Robert Kennedy be the vice pres and have Vance be the pres nominee.
Yeah.
As an outsider, like I'm up here in Canuckistan, but
one of my favorite videos of RFK is when he pulled his shirt off and started just cranking out push-ups during the middle of one of his campaign rallies. And that guy pulled his shirt off, and I felt like I don't want to look at me anymore because he's like 70 and ripped as shit, you know? It's like, and he just dropped down and started knuckle push-ups. I was like,
I really like Kennedy on the health and the pharma stuff, but I
big time.
I wouldn't want him anywhere near economic policy.
Or military.
Or a lot of things, really.
What Trump said in his thing is Kennedy is going to be in charge of the health stuff. And as long as he stays away from the oil and the fracking stuff, they're going to get along just fine. And he can do whatever he wants.
There's some big names as far as elephants in the room go. As far as people that really Trump should serve up to the people. Like there's some bad rich cats these days that really should have a handle put on them. And because they literally are the thing that's going to hold back the agenda, the Trump agenda.
Well, today in a speech, bro, he said that he's going to re-get the executive action that allows him to fire whomever he wants, whenever he wants.
Executive order, just slap it down.
And he was saying that like those alphabet agencies are in trouble, and they should be.
Most of them need to go, like the ATF, the DEA. They just need to stop existing.
They just like gobble.
The FBI was supposed to be disbanded after Prohibition.
Yeah. And another big thing he said he's going to do is the ones he decides to keep, he's going to move their headquarters out of D.C.
Break it up. Break up that
So
monopoly.
he might send like the CEA out of Virginia to frickin' Texas or some shit.
Yeah. Get rid of the income tax. It was only supposed to be around till after the World War or
he
something.
mentioned that
needs to be
as a
gone. He did
possibility.
mention it. He did, yeah.
Yeah, and if you get Ron Paul in there talking, then you never know. Because Ron Paul hates the Fed. And the Fed chief has already said he refuses to be fired. And it's like, I don't think Trump cares.
What's that review? May as well be on
If
toilet
Trump
paper.
fires me, I refuse to go.
The Federal Reserve is another thing that freaking needs to go along with fractional reserve banking.
That's the monster from Jekyll Island. That
is,
reserve.
You remember
Go
Neil
deeper
Ford?
than that. Did you know those Rockefellers, like all these rich families literally put their cottages and summer cottages on that island, and the Rockefellers specifically put theirs on a place called Indian Mound, which is a mound where the Tamaqua natives were sacrificing their young. They're considered to be like a northern tribe offshoot of the Aztecs that had managed to get way up there.
Yeah.
And so they were contacted later. Well, like, that's just wild that the whole thing was dreamed up on that island on a place called Indian Mound where infants were sacrificed. And, like, they knew it and built a cottage there and named their cottage Indian Mound.
That's not wild. I mean, people are starting to come to the conclusion that the United States government is basically ran by a bunch of satanic monsters.
Yeah.
You know,
There seems to be a sect there, yeah.
It's like everyone who got on stage to support Kamala Harris is in a Diddy tape. You know what I mean? It's like, which they did say, Trump did say they're going to be unleashing all of the shit.
Oh, I want to see that list.
Trump is going to be dropping all the tea on all of this stuff.
Right on.
and I am there for it.
And
Of
the
course,
other,
they
another
dropped
one.
another assassination attempt on him today, or they reported on it.
Oh, fun. Yeah, there's going to be a few more of those. He needs to get his own security. I don't trust the Secret Service
Yeah.
for shit
Yeah.
after the initial shit show.
It's like what I said on a post. I said he needs to get about 500 snipers, like quality snipers, and turn them into trainers for 100,000 volunteers. He's got the land, he's got everything, all that.
Can you
He's got the
imagine how
fences,
the
he can
left
set that all up in
freak
Florida.
out
Pardon?
It gives
Trump
their
started
damn
building
mind.
his own army?
Yeah, that's right. I said he should have did it right as soon as right from the get-go, man, when he first got elected.
Yep, Georgia, Jekyll Island. That's where all the super rich people got together and figured out how to screw over America.
All us and steal America.
Yeah, pretty much everybody.
Murk out America's sons and daughters.
It's like it's the craziest thing. If we want to print money, we have to pay interest to have the money made, which means it's not our money. If you have to buy the money, it's not your money. It's someone else's money. And also, like I said the other day on economics, the U.S. dollar is based on the trust me, bro. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's based
The
on.
confidence. It's a confidence
okay.
game. It's a confidence game.
Yeah, it's a freaking Ponzi scheme.
The petrodollar
on a national level.
confidence game. Big army.
The petrodollar is basically gone now. Saudi Arabia is not going to renew that. They've been very clear. They're starting to
It's
take
not
euros
even-
and gold.
It's not even a Ponzi scheme on a national level. It's a Ponzi scheme on a global level.
Yeah.
Because you've got the Bank of London's involved. You've got the Hague involved.
They're all
you know,
underwriting it.
IMF.
Yeah.
And
The old rich Europe as well.
well, like the one guy on Grimm said, they want you to be poor. That's why they never teach you in school how to be rich. They only
That's
teach
what makes them
you work
rich.
and
By taking
survive
from you and you having
and
so
be
little.
poor and consume instead of create. You know, he's talking about don't be a consumer, be a producer.
Well, they
Yeah.
even admitted that when the Rockefellers and Carnegie basically formed the modern educational system, they outright say
Yeah.
we're not here to create men of letters, we're here to create workers.
Right. They're creating
They were very
factory
open about
workers. That's why our school system's regimented the way it is. It's
Yep,
just
exactly.
getting used to going and being somewhere for 8 hours a day.
They were producing the workers for their combine.
It's ridiculous. Remember when Trump wanted to have a military parade? Yeah, and everybody freaking lost their mind
He
about
should have
it.
just did it. He should have just did it.
Yeah, well, you know, these are the same people that are like, well, it'll cost X amount of money, but then they send billions of dollars to everybody
He's
except
the
us.
president. Set the precedent.
You know, it's like I'm talking about recently. It's like I was surprised that 69 or 60, I think it's 69% of white women broke for Trump. So apparently running your whole campaign on abortion turned out not to be a smart idea.
Yeah. The white birth rate is down.
With the situation
have money, but I
in their
don't
states. The people who really care about wanting abortions everywhere already live in blue states. It's not affecting anyone.
Well, that was like Trump will take away your abortion. It's like they rely on low information voters who don't understand that shit should have been at the state law level anyway. As a matter of fact, as a huge pro of Jeffersonian philosophy, pretty much everything should be at the state level, excepting tariffs, ports, and a standing army. And the standing army should probably be small and elite, and each state should be willing to conscript whatever you need if we ever got to a big war. But
that would make me so happy if you brought us out of NATO and just closed all of those damn bases.
Close down the UN.
Everything back. Keep a couple of the naval bases and continue to patrol the sea lanes and charge people for it. But otherwise, get all this
Yep.
ground troops and everything, and all that
Service
Air Force
fees, man.
is just out of there.
Yeah.
It's like, we will patrol the waterways. You're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll
Great
tell
idea.
the reason they do it is because what they're actually doing is laundering the money. Because Zelensky is not flying back to Ukraine with a big sack full of hundreds. He's going back to Ukraine with the promise that he's going to get X amount of money in weapons, but then that money goes to the weapons factories, which are in America, and then the weapons factories kick back to the politicians their share, plus a lot of the politicians own massive amounts of stock in these weapons companies. So it's just a way to launder the money. I mean, we can send Zelensky, we could right now send the Ukrainians every weapon in the United States Army's arsenal. They still can't win.
No,
They don't have enough men left to use the stuff.
that was the goal of that war.
It's wildly
That was the goal of that war.
I think to kill as many
amount of those
Christians.
weapons.
It's an ancient blood feud against the Khazarians, or from the
Yeah.
Khazarians.
Yeah, there's a feud because the Orthodox Christians refuse
Yaroslav
to
the
abide
Brave
by their
crushed
bullshit.
From what is
So
Ukraine.
that's how, like I've complained about this. Zelensky is an actor who is not Orthodox Christian and has done some pretty shady ass shit. So how does he get elected president? Because I know my priest would never suggest I vote for, someone like that.
Who would endorse him?
You know? Well, I know how he got put in the office. CIA did it, but still, they
Wasn't
got
that
rid
the
of the guy
whole-
that was pro-Russian,
I don't want to mention all the names.
threw a coup, and inserted their own man.
Yeah, exactly.
Making a ton of money off the war. Yeah, well, they're getting ready to not to.
Yeah.
But Ukraine was the Wild West for
Russia
the
after the
US.
Soviet Union collapsed. Yeltsin was an absolute pawn of the U.S.
Yeah, he should not have given Ukraine independence.
No.
Why he gave all those countries independence, I don't know. Why he decided to move Crimea from under the Oblast of Moscow to the Oblast of Ukraine, I don't know. But no, that was Khrushchev that did that.
Paper promises mean nothing.
But hey, how you doing, Jim Cody? What is up, homie?
Hey, Cody.
The people that got
There's a
Zelensky
wicked
in power
fight going on somewhere that I'm hearing.
Maybe. But
Does that happen over with you, Leth? Seems like somebody's getting killed in the background.
I don't know. Kids,
you know how kids are. I remember being a kid. I was a little monster.
Oh yeah, I grew up in the '80s, man. Late '70s, early '80s. Like I know.
Yeah, 71 was my birth year here, so
76
Gen X
for
all the
me.
way.
92.
76 for me. I'm a little bit younger, but I'm still Gen X.
Yeah.
69. I got taken to Woodstock at 3 months old by my crazy hippie mother.
There you
Although
go.
I can say technically I saw Hendrix. So,
I got
Nice.
traumatized by my
Nice
mom too.
survive.
She had me watch Jaws when I was like 7.
Ooh, that's heavy duty.
I saw
Yeah,
that
it was
at a
traumatized.
drive-through when I was at a drive-in when I was a kid. That scared the crap out of me. That one.
I saw the beginning when I was young too, but not that young. I was about 10. But I did see Evil Dead, like the first little bit of it, when I was about 6.
Oh my goodness, Evil Dead. What a
Yeah.
fun movie. And gory.
Not to a kid though.
Not when you're a little kid
You
though,
don't
no.
get the nuance of the humor and
But
stuff.
now you put it on and you're just like laughing at it. It's just not really. At least me, in order for a movie to be scary, it has to make me think. You know what I mean? And Evil
Psychologically,
Dead is just
scary.
like, it's like the Three Stooges meet Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's just slapstick, crazy shit going on.
When it makes you think, that's when it's in your head. Because the
Exactly, and that's the ones that are
thoughts are in your
scary.
head.
Yeah. Cal Vanoni, I think
Lovecraft.
Peanut might have been responsible for pushing New York State like however many points red.
Can we please talk about equal rights for the garbage panda, trash panda there that was also rounded up and shot? Nobody's mentioning them. That poor fucking
Yeah,
raccoon.
Freddie
Was it
wasn't doing anything. He was the baby.
Okay, I saw him in a couple memes, but then it was just like nobody mentioned him. Like, oh, what is a poor raccoon, man?
The squirrel has the fluffy tail.
We got
Yeah,
Snoopy
mine-
on our property. He's got half a tail. We see him on trail cams limping along.
Yeah,
Little
the
stumpy.
meme I saw showed the squirrel and the raccoon and Death. You know that meme? And they're like, "Were we good boys?" And Death is like, "You were the best boy." And then they're all walking off together. Yeah, justice for Peanut and Frankie. That's right.
That fluffy tail is all important because when you take it away, a squirrel's basically just a rat that's living overhead.
But the
Rats
taste
are so
was
much
bad.
dirtier, though, man. If you look at the face
Yeah.
of a squirrel and the body of a squirrel, squirrels are like more natural. A rat is gross as
cleaner.
shit. I've had sewer rat come up in my basement when I lived in the city. They're dirty, man. It's like stand about almost a foot tall, like an ancient dirty rat from the sewer. Like
Like city
Nations.
rats.
I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair, the squirrel's not the only rodent pet that most people will keep. Hamsters, gerbils, guinea pigs.
their chewing is the thing that gets a little wacky because they can chew at your wiring, they can chew at electronics, they
Yeah.
start fires more than anything.
Well,
Chewing
I've
it.
ate squirrel and I've ate groundhog.
I
But
didn't really love
we went out of
squirrel.
our way, but the groundhog kept getting into the garden, so we ambushed it and shot it and ate it.
Mhm.
And that's just how we did back then.
Yeah.
you know?
But you don't let it go to waste. Like
Man,
like I've heard squirrel
My
tastes a lot
grandma
better than
just
groundhog.
Groundhog.
But when we kill a mouse or a squirrel, anything that's getting at the house trying to get in, we put it out on a stone in front of the house, like a boulder, and owls or hawks or the ravens will get it. And the ravens have started leaving us things because we've
Well,
been
I mean-
leaving them things. It's pretty cool.
yeah, if you watch
do it.
YouTube channels about it, it's like ravens apparently are like
Next
genius
level, man.
animals.
Very
They
easily
recognize
turn into
faces,
familiar.
They hold grudges. They can count. They can problem solve. So you wouldn't think, because bird brain is an insult, but not when you're talking about ravens. Because those boys
Quote
are
the Raven,
smart.
nevermore.
They dwarf some
Right?
people.
Hoot the raven. He only had half a tail. Yeah, I know. And when he got Peanut, it was after he saw Peanut's freaking mom get ran over by a car.
Man.
It's like there's no way to spin that right. The lady in charge of that department up in New York deleted every bit of her social media. But they
It's
still got
carrying
pictures
it
of
to
her
the next
dressed up
level.
like a freaking SS officer with the little belt across the way and all that shit. It's like, really, this is what you got to worry about? Now, what's weird, and Six Nations touched on this, the governor of New York or mayor of New York announced today that illegal aliens will not be getting any food cards or any of that shit any longer.
So they're going to start going crazy. That's the thing. You shouldn't necessarily celebrate that right away. The news should have been they're getting grabbed up, thrown into something, and transported. Not we're cutting off their supplies
Like
in your
train?
communities, so they're going to be fucking you in your communities.
I mean, if you ask the left, it's trains.
Sorry. but
If you ask me, it's trains.
So lucky.
It's going to be trains. Like somebody sent a bunch of emails
Yep.
out, like black people, telling them that they were now slaves and they had to report to like plantation.
I said that in the beer store. I was like, these guys owe us a lot of money.
And it was like a
tax
lot of
dollars.
people did it or got these freaking phone calls, and they were talking about on the news like how horrible. And I was sitting there, I was like, that's some funny trollish shit. And any black person that took that serious is stupid. Like if I were a brother and I got an email saying you're now a slave, you got to show up and pick cotton, I'd be like, what? Get out of here and go on about my way. You know, it's like that ain't
How about that,
happening.
though? You're not going
Right.
to grab a
Man,
black guy and make him a slave again. I'm just saying, like, all the people that have just rocked into our world here have been paid a lot of money in our tax dollars, so they owe us. They owe us.
Yeah.
They don't owe the goddamn politicians. Politicians robbed our pockets to pay them.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
happy just to see him dead.
Crafting Gamer says the only thing he's ever killed and not ate is mutton.
You go dog straight to the darkness, eh? thousand yard stare there.
Well, have you seen all the crazy women shaving their heads and saying they're not going to wear deodorant or makeup because they're not going to have sex for the next 4 years? And it's like,
Nobody should have sex with them. You don't
yeah,
want to
no
raise
one,
them.
no one,
No one was
would
going
want
to do that anyway.
But if this were about abortion, you're kind of handling it for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for those people who are like super anti-abortion, well, those women are like, the best way to never get an abortion is never
Went
have
off and out
sex.
is
So
good.
there you go. So yeah, it's such
Ooh,
bullshit.
what are you drinking there?
I'll show you.
It's like, and all these people
Labatt,
talking all this shit, and it's like, you
Maximum
know,
Ice.
this dude was president before, right? Maximum Ice. Never heard of it.
Nope, me neither.
And the company name is over here. Labatt.
Oh,
French
Labatt,
name.
I've heard of.
Yeah.
French beer, yeah, I've
Maximum-
heard of
it's
it.
the
I'd never
strongest
drink
beer.
it, but I've heard of it.
Labatt's strongest beer is that.
No,
I'm more
I'm
of
a
a bourbon
Yingling guy.
fan.
I drink
You know
beer
what?
from coal country, like a real coal country man.
I like PBRs usually. I like the PBR blues. They're the stronger of the PBRs, tall cans.
My biological dad drunk PBRs because I guess he got addicted to them in Vietnam.
I'm more of a
Apparently,
whiskey
that's
rum
what they
kind of
used
guy.
to fly out to the field and dump on the soldiers is just PBR and whiskey.
I don't like
The
what my
CIA
dad
would
drinks.
come in once in a while to the advanced front lines and bring in a case
Well,
and
what he
cooler
used
with
to drink.
frontline boys.
Yeah.
What did he used to
Wow,
drink?
show up
Was it
khakis
Coors or
and
something? No, it wasn't Coors.
Golf shirt.
What was it that he used to drink?
My great uncle served in the Korean War, Vietnam War,
I
Green
think it was
Beret.
Budweiser or something like that.
He was in the
That-
Korean War and went through the whole Chosen debacle. My great uncle.
Oh, Chosan, yeah, the Chosan Reservoir.
Yeah. And went Green Beret to Vietnam War.
Yeah.
He's an awesome fella. He's still alive.
Oh,
Man. Still
we were
alive, kicking in
fighting in a
Michigan.
different direction.
Well, off grid. My papa, he worked on helicopters.
Yeah, but you
No.
said he drank Coors or some shit.
No, that was my dad. No, he didn't drink Coors. My dad, I don't know what he drank. I think it was
PBRs for the shit kickers.
Budweiser or something.
Straight up.
Like if you go into like a VA club and order PBR, you're in.
No.
It's like I can, because I'm a combat vet, I can go into VHFs and
Yeah, my-
VFWs, whatever, Veterans Foreign War, VFWs.
Oh, you're giving me the
And you
tinglies.
just roll
just
in and sit down and be like, I'll have a PBR.
My papa,
And
he
like
drank,
everyone there's like, hey man, how you doing? No, it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of like the inside joke, I guess, the angle. You know?
It's the choice.
One of us.
no, my papa, he was the one that drank Blackheart spiced rum.
Ugh.
Good
Don't
rum.
like rum at all unless it's coconut rum with a bunch of pineapple juice in it.
I don't know. You might have been missing out on that spiced rum.
Well, that PBR is a taste of America, Americana from the 1800s. That's what that is. And that's what those boys over there are fighting and dying for to keep that alive.
I don't know.
American are you?
Bourbon whiskey, man. Bourbon whiskey.
American are you?
Well, we did fight a revolution about bourbon whiskey. That is true.
Yes.
It's like no sooner did we run the British off than the state of Kentucky had a revolution against the federal government
Yeah.
about whiskeys.
Yeah.
But anywho, I had local beer in Cali, barley
Oh.
wine.
I'll need to find
That's
something
what
good.
You didn't. I think you're reading something.
I was looking at Six Nations.
Yeah, Six Nations. Now, I'll need to find something for the inauguration. Something nice.
Yeah,
Tell you
these
the truth,
women
I
who
like
are
the
all trying
microbreweries.
to
I know where it's at.
withhold sex. No one cares. I'll tell you what, and I said it before. I knew when Elon Musk bought Twitter this time that this shit was going to be lit, and it has been fucking lit. You go on Twitter, the memes are insane.
Yes.
It's like, and then like Hungar was saying, Elon's posting clips of him telling Bob Iger to fuck himself and shit like
That
that.
was awesome.
The truth is flowing on Elon's network.
And I saw Elon basically when he decided to fire Don Lemon, because he was going to give Don Lemon to have a chance to have a show on Twitter, and he was being interviewed by Don Lemon, and you could just see in Elon's eyes the minute when he decided this
It's
was
just
like. It was like as soon as he started talking about DEI and all that shit, Musk was like, "Yeah, you're out." I was like,
Yeah.
But
Lasered right in on him.
Brewery, Santa Cruz. Well, you know those guys out in California, they make weird beer and they make weird pizza. I don't know. I've never heard of anything that's California cuisine that I would be like, man, I need that.
Oh, California commits blasphemy against pizza.
It's like,
It's
what are they even?
unacceptable.
You know, what are they known for in California?
Wine and vineyards, or at least they've tried to make themselves such. But the best wine grows out of the battlefield of heroes. And you look at France, where all the ancient battles happen. They all went into that soil, and that's what that life springs out of.
La breweries. Yeah, we got a bunch of IPAs here in Florida, Tampa and Ybor City. They make a IPA called Florida Man. It's like 16%. So if you're wondering why Florida Man's out there throwing alligators in Wendy's parking lots and shit, well, you know.
I think it takes a lot less than
IPA,
that to make
he's
Florida
shit.
Man go do what you say.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
A lot less than
It's
that.
not a
It could
question.
just be a Tuesday.
He's freaking drunk and probably on
Hey,
coke too.
You want to know my
I had to put
favorite
up with the
story
mosquitoes
for
and
Florida
gators
Man?
and all the shit that wanted to bite you and everything being hot and sweaty. Damn, I'd be pissed too.
I didn't know that 800 people a year, or was it 80? Anyway, I didn't know that there was a number of people a year that got killed by black bears. It never occurred to me that black bear
Black
would kill
bears,
anyone.
those goddamn monkeys.
Could. I mean, really. They're
Oh, the
easiest
herpes
to-
monkeys? Yeah, you don't mess with the herpes
Well,
monkeys.
Those things
They got-
running
they
around.
got a
Everybody
special
forgot
kind of
about them. Nobody's mentioning the herpes monkeys.
Yeah, they got a special kind of herpes that goes directly to your brain
That was so early 2000s.
and kills you. Like this herpes kills you. You die.
That's a death sentence monkey.
Yeah, your brain stem rots out of your head and you're dead.
He's seeing evil. He's doing evil. And he's
Chat
hearing evil.
here. Well,
That
UK guy, how you doing?
And we have Hollywood to thank for those damn monkeys.
I mean, bourbon is good.
Tarzan
I have drank my share of Bushmills, Beefeater.
Man, those freaking Gates monkeys.
I
are
have a
actually-
half a bottle of Lagavulin in there, and half a bottle of Bombay Sapphire gin too, because I do like a gin and tonic. I don't give a shit when it's hot out here in Orlando. You come in and get you a glass, and keep your, lime juice
Yeah,
in,
keep
gin
it cool.
and tonic. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, if it's Scotch, it's whiskey. If it's bourbon, it's bourbon. And only bourbon can be made in Kentucky, and
Yep.
and only Kentucky can make bourbon. If it's
Well,
made anywhere else, it's just whiskey.
Well, that's the reality of it. Although now technically you can call it bourbon if it's anywhere in the continental United States.
Yeah, they're trying to do
You
that.
can be objectively wrong.
Yes.
Sorry, it's not bourbon.
Gal says California has a little bit of everything, but I've never heard of anything.
No, who's
Like if
actually
you go to
making,
Texas, you're getting barbecue, you're getting sausages, you're getting chicken fried steaks, which is just schnitzel with freaking country gravy. You go to Carolina, you're getting freaking vinegar dry rub barbecue. You know it. You go to Kentucky, you could get Bagoo, or you could get an open-faced hot and brown. I mean, every state seems to have a thing. California don't really got anything. I mean, New York City, you just grab a slice right off of the side of the street. You walk down the street, there'll be a pizza joint there no bigger than a freaking nothing. And you just walk up and be like, I have a slice. And they'll be like, $2.50. Hand him the money. He hands you the slice on a paper plate. And that's just how it is. It's like,
that's starting to change though. A lot of those places closed during COVID, and a lot of them are getting bought out by chains. So the New York pizza thing even is dying.
and plus the Sbarro hot dogs.
Oh
In New
yeah,
York,
the street vendors, those are
Sbarro
all
hot
one
dogs all over
company.
the place.
That's all one big company. All the independent guys got driven out. they made the licensing
Ever
so
tried
expensive.
Talisker Sky? No, sir. Quickly, the fanciest Scotch I tried was single malt Glenlivet. It was like $150 a liter, and I was like, "Damn."
So I've seen them when I worked at the liquor store. I've seen crazy expensive scotches.
Scotch is no joke. For
Yeah, like
for
there was
whatever
some
reason,
Macallan
Scotch is no
25.
joke.
It was like 10 grand a bottle. We had
Yeah.
like one bottle of that just to have it. Nobody ever bought the
It's
shit.
like, and what's crazy is a lot of the Scotch producers in Scotland, they buy the used bourbon barrels from Kentucky, and then they age their single malt Scotch in the bourbon barrel.
Yeah,
Because that's the rule with bourbon. You can only use
Yeah,
the barrel
right.
one time.
Jameson's basically only uses the Jack Daniels barrels. They basically floated them through Prohibition. They built them a factory in Canada just so they keep making the barrels for them because they only wanted to use their barrels. They basically kept them in business.
Who wants their dirty old musk though? That dirty old taste. Why not make vodka? Vodka's where it's at. Clean.
That's not kind of vodka, really. Besides,
Back in my
good.
day, I could drink some vodka. I remember one
Yeah.
time on a Legion of Myths stream, I drank 12 double shots.
I mean, come on. Good.
Because I actually, like every good
Grease and
human
touch
being
God, bro.
on the planet, I don't know where I put it, but maybe I can find it. I have a vodka glass that my pop gave me.
Vodka glass.
Yeah, it's actually got a stem and everything, and it holds 2 shots. And it
You know
is
who's actually,
from Mother Russia.
Making really good whiskeys now is Japan, surprisingly.
I heard. I might try
There's a
some
whole lot of
Japanese.
really good Japanese whiskeys coming out.
Japan is hooked on everything Americana. See, in the way that a whole bunch of Americans and Canadians and Europeans got hooked on Japanese culture, the same cultural exchange happened in Japan. And they're
Yeah.
hooked on our culture. They make the best denims. They make our old school 20s, 30s high quality denims. They make all these different things that are high quality reproductions of what we used to have.
Yeah.
Because they
Also-
love the Americana in the same way.
Japanese like
I
80s
know.
anime was basically a lot of hair metal.
15 grain. I don't need that in there.
Can you repeat that, Lethalus?
A lot of 80s Japanese anime was basically like Americana hair metal type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The thing you have to understand about the Japanese, who I've worked closely
love that
with many times,
What?
is they have the weirdest relationship with America.
I'm not gonna get my
They
mic.
do have the weirdest relationship culturally and exchange wise, and just where they are and what they contribute. But geopolitically, they have a huge hammer, and that is the fact that they're in Asia and they're like the top dog genetically.
It's
to have
like
top
on the
dog
one hand, though,
On our side is like a big trump card.
on the one hand, they are absolutely, for the most part, convinced that they are superior to us. And
'Cause
on
they
the other
should,
hand,
for
they
their
know
own
you
ego.
whip their ass.
We should believe
So
we're
it
superior
like
to
puts them in
them.
this weird spot, you know.
And then we come together and we give a hug and we go die shoulder to shoulder against an enemy. Right? They're
Well,
an
yeah,
ally.
I mean, they are remilitarizing.
They
their
should
country.
believe they're the shit. We believe we're the shit. We all want to believe we're the shit. And when we get together, we are the shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the big spaghetti coil. It's real hard to break when it's big. Pencils, real hard to break when they're big. When they're one, easy. But when you're rolling like bros, shoulder to shoulder, you rock shit. And when you got
You mean
the
like a
surprise
reed?
come in behind,
How
That's like
reed
that.
is really hard to break, or really easy to break if it's just one. But if you wrap a bunch of them together,
yeah,
then they're really hard.
exactly that. It is
And
true
if you
though.
put an axe in the middle, then
When you act as one,
that's
and are
wrong.
one. Shield wall. You get her.
Yeah.
You play solid.
Cali has become Mordor.
One
Cow,
does not simply walk into Los Angeles.
yeah, but Cal don't live in the bad part of California. He lives in Jefferson State.
Yeah.
which we should do. We really should split California right around where Sacramento is and have California. And oh yeah, you got your axe ready to go. Look
Oh,
at
yeah.
you. Damn, that's a long hafted axe too. Yeah, mine's only about yay long. But
This is
I got
one
my
can
little
throw out
camping
to the
kit.
beach. You know what most people don't show in axe combat is how there's the axe push, almost like you have a cue for pool in your hand, and you just smash them in the face with whatever you have pointed up at the top, right?
Yeah, that would suck.
Move that they don't expect because they expect you to go back like this, but instead you go like this and jab them.
In the SCA, the whole deal with axes was you could hook an opponent's shield and pull them out of the line. And I mean, it's medieval combat, so once you break through a line, they're hosed. I mean,
Especially when you drop your weapons and you pull out the close combat weapons, and it's all just stabby with a short sword and a dirk.
yep, that's how we did it. I fought in the front line.
That's
We
how
had
the
right
Gallowglass fought.
behind us, but then we had guys with like axes, and the whole deal is they would hook somebody's shield and just pull them forward, and you just waylay them so you're ganging up on them. And once you take a couple guys out and you split the line in half, then you can just roll them. Just
As
roll
soon
them
as
out.
one soldier, one man does that, it inspires everybody, and they just flow through that opening.
Yep. I went to what they call Gulf War. It's in Mississippi. I went there a couple times and pretty much loved it. It was a blast. Even though, unlike Hungar and the rest of the guys in my house, I wasn't out drinking and whoring all the time. You know, I'm a faithful man, but
Neither am I. I'm the state. I'm almost like a hermit druid in a way. I've kind of been operated that way.
Hey, I'm gonna get off here for now. I'll see you though.
see ya. Yeah,
Okay,
we got
Cheers, Lethalus.
we got hired for half a gallon of vodka by the barony of Blackwater to fight for them because we were an independent house. And there were like 12 of us. And I was sworn to the knight Sir Brendan, who also was kind of independent. And
As one should be.
yeah, he forced them to make him a knight. Because usually being a knight is all about politics and shit. Plus, you still got to be good at fighting. But Sir Brendan didn't play any of the bullshit games. He just whipped everyone's ass all the time. So eventually it was like the people actually stood up to the guy who was the king at the time and was like, look, this guy's got to be a knight. And the guy's like, well, you know, and they're like, no, he's the best fighter in the whole kingdom. And, you know, you don't like him because there were reasons not to like him. Like he was a Marine sniper. He had a swastika tattooed on his calf. I mean, you know, he's a wild guy, but get him out in full armor with his shield and sword and he just wreck everyone's face. And he wasn't even like, he didn't even believe in little mustache man shit. That's something he did when he's like 16.
He needed it the most because he needed an escape from the pressure that was his real life.
Right. I mean, because he totally
He
was.
committed.
He knew I was Jewish when we met.
When we
And
role play, we
he
commit
said-
to a certain
and I
shared
saw that.
reality.
He's like, "Do you mind?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Yeah, I'm not part of any of that. That was like 30 years ago." And I was like, "Yeah, man. You know,
Well,
people
back then, like, you know, the punks and a lot of the bikers did that just to be like shocking
Yeah,
to the
to be
normies.
edgelord."
It wasn't meant to.
Yeah, it was an edgelord thing. Like you rode your motorcycle around and you freaking wore your World
Yeah.
War II freaking Stillhelm 41, you know, or whatever. It's like it didn't mean you were actually like those dudes you'd always see with iron crosses on them. They had no political affiliation other than I'm hanging out with my bros, riding my Harley, and maybe selling some meth if they're, you know, 1%ers.
Good, wholesome activity.
You know, no guy who
Better
did
than toothpaste.
and
It really scours.
We had a bunch of people down here we called Bobots because their night was named
Oh,
Bo,
Benny, oh,
and he equipped all of his men at arms in plate mail. So we called them Bobots because they all look like metal people walking. I mean, I
Coming
wore
in like stiff.
chainmail. I wore a chainmail hauberk, a Romano Gallic style helmet with a big nasal, and a big broad belt that had metal plates plated to it. And because really the only place I was worried about getting hit was the kidneys. You know, anywhere else, like I had went home to my wife so many times and pulled my chainmail off, and I'd have a chainmail shaped like bruise where someone got me good enough to push the chainmail in, and she got off on it. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, because there's that blunt trauma. You can't escape that. When someone pounds you with
dude.
something with weight.
I don't care what people can say that we've evolved and whatever, simplify shark, but you show up to
See a shark?
an SCA event, if you are a heavy fighter and you're willing to get out and like just duke it out and take your licks and whatnot, chicks just dig that. If you show up and you're like a merchant or you're just hanging out, but you're not a fighter, you're not getting laid unless you brought it.
Chicks need a display like a rooster that comes out.
100%.
You know what I mean? They need that.
There and you get
That's
up.
how she works with the hens.
You got your stick. You and somebody go at it, and they sit on the sign line and getting all moist and bothered about it.
Yeah, the Scots Gaelics get it. That's why chickens were sacred and they'd be painted on shields and stuff.
Yeah,
But they understood that's sacred, man. The relationship of man to chicken and the egg, it keeps us alive and sustains us.
yeah, yeah. At the
Wonderful.
Mississippi one I went to, they had a trebuchet. They had a whole units of archers with crossbows, with blunt tips, and they still hurt like hell. And it was a Boy Scout encampment, but they had a castle there. And it was built in the Russian style, so it was like all logs.
Mhm.
And one person had to be air flighted out because we ran up and dropped a ramp and then ran up and jumped off the ramp to try and get inside. And this female fighter, when she jumped off the ramp, her thigh bone come out.
Oh,
Like she got compound fracture.
Oh, sorry, fellas.
So they immediately had to fly her ass out because one, she didn't have the musculature for it, and two, she was wearing way too much armor. Because you can go too much. I mean, you know, when you see a guy and they're like just plated head to toe, it's like, come on, man. Like one of the baddest ass guys down here, Sir Baldrick, who in his real life, I think his name's Steve, and he's a anesthetician. You know, the guy that's put you to sleep before you get surgery. He fights wearing nothing but a big broad belt. That is it. And a cup. Everybody wears a cup. But like armor, he wears a padded Viking style thing with.
I don't wear a cup because when I fight, I always like,
big freaking leather belt.
you know, and I always push down so nobody can kick me in the nuts because I always like edge myself. And when people try to curve around,
Well, when I say fight, I mean with sticks. On
Oh,
the field
geez.
of battle, SCA.
sorry, you triggered something there. It's like
Yeah, you went into some Bruce Lee shit.
fighter instinct. Apologies.
Ever been to a Ren Fair? No, but if I go to a Ren Fair locally, I'm going to dress up as a Death Corps of Krieg soldier, which is what I dressed up as for Halloween. I've posted the pictures. You've all seen it.
Just don't walk around your neighborhood. You
Well,
come up in
now
my
that they
neighborhood and
know,
do that, nobody
they know.
because nobody can see you.
No, all the cops know now because I know some of them from when I worked at the fire department. It's like they got all the calls and they start patrolling. Then one of the cops saw the picture and was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" That's a guy dressed up like a dude from a sci-fi game. Because you know some of the cops play 40K. You know they recognized it.
For three
But
quarters
that's
of
why
a
my
mile,
nickname at the fire
nobody can
department
see my
was
driveway.
the Wizard because I played D&D. So they snuck in and put Wizard across the back of my helmet and glow in the dark letters and shit, which my helmet is not the one I wore. For some reason, when I got retired out, they gave me a new one. But it's hanging on the wall next to my icons and shit. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. You know, whatever. That's cool. Warmaster Chaos Knights will arrive Wednesday. Got to figure out the color scheme. Well, that's really easy, Deckard. If they're corn, you paint them red. If they're Slanesh, you paint them pink, black, and purple. If they're Nurgle, they get painted green and brown and shit color.
Pukey.
And if they're Zinch, they're going to be painted various shades of blue. And that's basically it, man. That's the whole deal. And you'll probably have units of each of the Chaos powers if you're smart, because different units get different abilities. Like Khorne, I think they get more attacks, and Zinch gets like a invulnerability bonus versus magic and shit like that. So
make your troop component the best of the different basic units.
That's what I did, except I played at 28 millimeter. I still got my Chaos Army, and then I've got Knights just to clean up shit. Pick a Chaos God. That's the thing I was saying, though, Deckard. You don't have to pick one. Depending on how big your army is, you can have all four of them.
It's true.
You could have a cavalry unit that's Slanesh. You could have a freaking bunch of infantrymen with great axes. That's Khorne. I mean, with Chaos, you can literally just go nuts. Do whatever you want. Which is, do I have a Krieg shovel? I do, but the shovel I have, I ordered from Russia. It's a Spetsnaz shovel. And I can't take it anytime I go to like most places. I can't take that shovel. Because, I mean, it literally does have an edge on it. So they're not going to let me into Comic-Con or anything up in Orlando with a shovel that could kill somebody. That's not going to happen. So if I want to actually carry a shovel, I'm going to have to buy that. You know that foam you can get that's like half-inch thick? And it's really dense, but it's foam rubber.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to have to buy that and make a shovel blade and then attach it to like some kind of plastic tube. And then paint it up because, yeah, they're really stupid about it. But, yeah. Now, I found a 3X, which I don't really need, a Finnish greatcoat, and I was thinking about getting that. And it's like a light gray instead of Horizon blue. Because my Death Corps Krieg army, depending on what their job is, they got different colored jackets. Like all the sappers are wearing like a field gray color, and then my line troops are wearing Horizon blue. Kilts. Well, if I were going to do kilts, I would have had to do Tanith first and only. Because in their dress uniform, they wore kilts and the camo cloaks. And
I'm glad I got those guys in miniature.
Huh?
I'm glad I got those guys in miniature. Sorry to interrupt you at DM James. But I did a box set of them.
Yep.
And I picked up the books. The books were the hardest thing to get. The anthology, all the parts of it. I think it's 5 parts. Yeah, 5 parts. I've got it all.
And it shows you how like everything is not what you think it is, because Commissar Ibram Gaunt is a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is actually a good guy, because sometimes they won't make it out like commissars are bloodthirsty, just horrible human beings. But he actually gives a shit.
Because Commissar is a way to climb the social stratus in the 40K universe amongst the Imperium, and a lot of people choose that. But in truth, he's the best one. Oh
yeah, and he's a colonel as well as being a commissar.
Because that power has to be tempered with the heart.
Yep. And Ibram is Arabic for Abraham.
That's why him and his unit see saints.
Yep.
And they speak to them.
That's
There's a
also why
divinity
he
to them.
protected the one guy who was slightly psychic from the black ship.
Yeah. Do you remember that scene with the sniper when he was
Oh,
sniping
what's his name? Something
from
the
up in the
Mad.
tower? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name exactly at the moment.
Starts with an L. It's like Larkin.
That's quite possibly it. You recall more likely better
Yeah,
than
they
mine.
call him Larkin the Mad or whatever, but he's got that
Yeah, I think
freaking
you got
long
it.
ass.
But he's up there, and the statue talked to him and guided
Yeah.
him, and he took out that disgusting slug of chaos.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Well,
cause
they
all
were
that
always
hurt,
fighting with
and
the
had
death
caused all that
too.
hurt. Send him to his hell. Because when it comes to demons, they promise all this to their hosts, but then misfortunes are delivered to their hosts, and the promises are squandered. So when it's money, it's easily spent, it's lost. People gamble it away, and then what's due becomes
Just
due.
like Jinn do the same thing. They make offers, but then they
Well, the
trick
Holy Spirit shields you. You're right. It's the interconnectivity of good people. When people say prayers, it almost goes in like a buffer bank, and it helps you out when you seek a little bit of strength to lean on.
Well, here's the thing, too, is like I've said before, 40K was made to kind of ridicule and mock the Conservative Party and Margaret Thatcher and everything like that. They didn't realize that it backfired on them. And the whole reason it's so popular is because of how right-wing it is. Like, if 40K, it's like the more they try to go left, the more shit they catch.
You know what it is? It's the truth of the fact that at the time it was launched, there was still logic and there's still common sense. And they still had that rationale and logic to the system of the ancients and the logics. You know,
Well, I love
logic
explaining
built
to
up.
people how the
That's what
40K
it is.
horse heresy and all
But
that's
it is a
just
wise
based
thing.
on Christian apocrypha or Hebrew apocrypha, you know, like the rebellion in heaven and all that. I mean, they based everything on Christianity, and now they're like weirded out that people who play the game are Christians, and it's like,
Christianity is just based on high social trust, and there should be high social trust if you're expected to sacrifice for social.
right. That's why things are getting bad when they start putting out recruitment videos and all the guys in the video are white. Because it's like, we might actually have a war coming up. Because so-and-so and her two moms in San Francisco went out the window really quick. Now it's a bunch of hillbillies jumping out of the back of a Chinook helicopter.
Well, can you imagine being told, because you're from like Appalachia, and you were expected to be as a sergeant down there to a bunch of fucking left-wing shits over in California in a unit and sent over to wherever?
Well, they would figure it out pretty quick.
Well, they probably die pretty quick, and you die pretty quick because you can't depend on them. That's the truth of that. You'd rather have boys from your end of the unit, your neck of the woods, and you guys would rock from that hills. You control them, and you'd fucking lay a heavy toll upon anybody that came around you. That's
I'm
true.
being
Yeah.
a female commissar for your Stalingard Guards Regiment. That's bold action you're
They
talking
don't have the
about.
recruits anymore.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
need to do a
Recruit
major
specialists.
purge in the military, especially at the general ranks.
That's what I want to see right now. Who is Trump selecting to be his heavy in the military? Who's his major domo for the armed forces?
Well, maybe they can clone Rommel.
Well,
The
where are
left
these
would die
generals going
because
to?
you know how they
You
kept
need
telling that
free trips
lie
out
that
to the Pacific.
Trump wanted, German officers and shit like that. If they could clone Rommel, then Trump brought him out and said, the leader of the Department of Defense is going to be Erwin Rommel. People would just lose their. I mean, it'd be hilarious. Actually, I would laugh.
If
Plus,
Erwin
Erwin
came
Rommel
back
was
and
never part of the
Patton
party.
and got together, imagine Erwin Rommel and Patton got together for like a team up.
Well, they did
Against
respect
whatever the
each
shit was
other
going
an
on.
awful lot. They really did. But we know
Rommel should have been president of Germany, and Patton should have been president of the United States.
Well, no, you couldn't have that though because Patton wanted to rearm the Germans and go into Russia.
That
And
should have happened too.
At that time, why not? At that time, why not?
Serpentor.
Yes, a lot
Yeah,
of grief.
Serpentor that shit. Make
That's
a
almost
clone
like a
out of all the
revenge
greatest generals
run.
of all time.
That's a revenge run at that point.
I mean, I think we've still got in a museum somewhere Alexander the Great's armor. There's got to be some DNA on it.
You know what? That armor is crazy. How they layered all that like paper-like material to the point where it was
like,
super light and it was strong for its lightness.
It's
So
linen.
if you were like extremely trained and fast spring, fast trigger muscle group, you just rip through anybody that you fought, and all your countrymen were that way. Sorry,
It was the mid-grade armor. The Linothorax
Fast
was
trigger muscle
mid-grade
group,
armor.
and
If you were a wealthy man, you could afford the actual metal armor. But and what they did, and no one's 100% sure, so I'm bullshitting here, but they would just layer linen with some kind of glue, and we're not even sure what kind of glue it was. But apparently, if you lay like 12 layers of this linen cloth, it gets to where the glue hardens up, and it can actually protect you from shit. It's crazy. And then a lot of times with your Linothorax, see, I'm kind of a guy when it comes to, you know, the Greek stuff, because I read about a lot. They would put brass scales around the belly, like around the waist, that were stitched into the thing. So up here and all this would be the linen armor, but then you'd have the metal at your most sensitive bit. But the thing people don't realize that, now this don't count for Alexander, he's special, but the Greek city-states, their hoplites had to buy all their own gear. They were not issued gear.
there was no problem because they were wealthy.
So
It was a sign of
what
honor
they
to serve
do-
in the legions.
That's what it was
Early on.
in Rome originally, when they all had to be farmers, when they all had to be
Exactly. It
landowners.
depends on what period you're talking about of Rome.
Right.
If you're gonna-
But
you know,
what they
it's-
would do is the young
Or the
men that could
various
only
wars.
afford the shield, the spear, and maybe a helmet, they would fight in the middle. And like the older men that had the best gear and experience would be in the front. And then the oldest men who were, I'm sorry, bro.
The
The
grandfather
oldest men would
crew
fight in the
would
back,
back.
and their job was to make sure the young men in the middle didn't break.
stayed motivated and said, "Your fathers are up forward. You fucking little
Right,
cunts.
right.
Fucking move them." We kept
And
things
another
moving
thing
back
about
in the day. We
phalanx
get moving.
warfare is when they're marching across the field at each other, the phalanx will always drift to the left.
Yeah.
So they have to line it up because something about men moving in a block, they always
It's almost
drift.
like something like brakes. You hit them brakes and you kind of slide a certain direction.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Alexander equipped his army. That was the thing. He had the money, and they had iron swords and iron tipped sarissa, which is, like a 13 or 14-foot pike. They would have brass shields sometimes, and they would be wearing the best armor that they could be wearing.
They had the best cavalry for the period too, and they were mounted
Oh,
all the elites on like
Yep.
expert
Like right
standing
here,
armies.
I've got to paint 4 of them yet to make a complete 20. But
And
this
the
is a
Spanish
Macedonian.
stallions at that time were Miles Espanol.
This is a Macedonian
Miles.
phalanx of Sarissamen. And I'll tell you what, it's a thing that came around a lot of times because in the Renaissance period, the Swiss and the Spanish reintroduced the pike.
Mhm.
Because the French or the Swiss had the Landsknecht, and then the Spanish had the Tassero.
Why ever give up force projection? It's just
And
your
so
next
it
level
was
of
like-
a warrior. Have the
it's like the
longest
fight
distance
went
and
away,
then just
but then it
graduate
came back.
down till you're just like
Now,
right with
I
the
can
hand
you
in
stand
hand
shoulder
dagger.
to shoulder with your friends and make somebody eat like 100 iron spear points at a time.
I got a bolt. I will catch you guys later.
Yeah,
Guys, have
I'm
a
probably
great
going to
night.
hang it up too and go
Everybody
see
in
what's
chat.
going on at Legion Myth. Militia Minutemen and their doggos. Yep. Yep. Well, that's what started the American Revolution was the act to confiscate all of the men's guns. A lot of people don't know that. I mean, the tax stamp and all the taxes on tea and shit was pissing people off. But the final straw is when they said they're going to confiscate everybody's muskets. And everybody's like, nope, the war is on. But anyway, Off Grid, it was good for you hanging out. And everybody who dropped in, I'm heading over to watch Legion of Myth and see what they're up to.
Cheers, bro.
And
I might join you over there.
maybe I'll see you guys there, but I also still got to make a video on this freaking Moria book. But anywho, I will catch you later.